Hello, Restoration Nation. I'm so glad to be with you today. Hope your new year is off to a great start. So for those that don't know me, my name is Jenny Sharpe. My wife and I grew a restoration company from scratch, Dry Kings Restoration, out of just north of San Francisco, California, into the largest restoration company in our county. And we sold a little under a couple years ago to Guardian Restoration Partners, and we were able to build up a real estate portfolio. So after we sold, we handed it off 14 months, took a world travel, and now we have relocated our family to the best place we feel to raise our kids in America, to Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're excited to be out here. If anybody is out here in these parts and wants to connect, hit me up. I'd love to connect with you. So the reason for this video is, first, I'm going to talk about the largest and most difficult drying customer, how to get that customer, how to keep that customer, how to deliver, how to become the best at drying. But first, I want to talk about my wife and I have big plans going forward. We're working on some new projects and some different fields, line of work, but we're so thankful to this industry and what it's done for our life, and how only 8 years we were able to massively grow, quickly scale, and exit. And we want to give back to you all the knowledge and everything we've learned. So we've spent large amounts of money and time becoming masters at our industry. I am an ICRC triple master. I've done tons of estimating courses, business growth courses, drying courses, you name it. So we've hired over 10 different consultants. So became friends with tons of great business owners, and we obviously worked with private equity for a season. So we are a wealth of knowledge and strategies and mindsets and how to grow and scale and exit quickly to get financial freedom. So we want to pass all that knowledge. We feel it's the right thing to do, to give back from what's changed our life, to give back to you. So we have some things in the works for that. You can stay tuned to the end for more information on that. But now back to drying, the most difficult customer to dry for. Put in the comments what you think. Could be obviously different answers depending on your company and the size. But for us, it was hospitals, large hospitals. We worked for the largest hospital in San Francisco in the Bay Area, okay? And they were very demanding, okay? So they required for us to dry within 3 days, or they would gut whatever was wet. So we had to dry. So can you dry in 3 days? Paul Davis was one to bring out the 3-day drying back in the day. So I can tell you, you can dry majority of materials within 3 days with the max amount of drying equipment, okay? So when you get your water damage certificate with the ICRC, you're gonna get the basic calculations, but then there's an advanced drying class that's gonna give you the advanced calculation sheet. There's another class I recommend. I'm not sponsored by them, but Chuck DeWald's Drying Academy. They have mathematical calculations for water evaporation and drying. I highly recommend their class. They will teach you how to max dry as fast as possible. So in order to dry as fast as possible, you will obviously need enough electricity, enough equipment, and the right equipment, the most powerful drying equipment. So for hospitals, they're quite complex. First of all, you'll need ICRA certification to be able to work in that environment, to protect yourself, to know all about safely working in a hospital environment, because you don't want to get patients sick, okay? So first of all, in order to get that client, the restoration company before us, they've been working probably for a decade, they contaminated patients. They got them sick with asbestos or mold. I believe it was asbestos, okay? They didn't specifically tell us, but they were not creating proper negative air. So if you're not being safe and healthy and an expert in these environments and controlling the pollutants in the air and the patients, okay, you can really cause lawsuits, all right? California was a sue-happy state. People love lawsuits these days, free money grab, right? So you don't want to get your customer sued. So after multiple problems with the previous restoration company, we were knocking on their door saying, we are the best, we want to work with you. Now, in order for our company to deliver at the demands of what the hospital needs, our company had to be a certain size and a certain level of professionals to be able to execute. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because Many of these floods were 3 stories up to 10 stories, and you're talking offices, 20 to 40 offices per floor, okay? Not all of the floor was obviously wet, but sometimes typically about a third to half of each floor would be wet, okay? So you're talking large buildings, all right? So you need to be able to mobilize. Most of the time, these problems happen on nights, weekends, holidays, okay? So you got to mobilize a large amount of equipment, a large amount of crew. So the clock is ticking. Once category 1, of course, is what we're talking about. Once the water damage happened, you have 3 days to show major dryness occurring, all right? Or they're going to just demolition it all. So you've got to be able to have large box trucks. You got to be able to have a large amount of equipment and the right amount of equipment, which means desiccant dehumidifiers. You got to have certified by a hygienist air scrubbers, negative containment, enough people and crews to put this equipment up there, have enough extractors, okay? Portable extractors, van mount extractors, whatever's needed. You got to have all this stuff ready to go. Power boxes, generators, ready to go. So the sooner that equipment gets out there, the sooner you can start drying occurring. So you get out there, you start sucking up the water. While the water's being sucked up, you're already setting up drying equipment, negative air instantly. So they will check that every containment has to have a manometer and check the air pressure that it's above 1 or -1 pressure going on. If that ever fails, the alarm will go off and you've got to fix it, right? And so there's a printout reading that it's constantly holding -1 pressure. So you got to build really good containments and strong containments because you're going to have the max amount of equipment out there. Again, the advanced drying with the ICRC will give you advanced calculations. It's pretty much the max amount of equipment that you can use for power that you have or how much you can almost fit into a room, okay? So there's obviously too much equipment that you can have per square footage that you're not making it dry any faster, but you're aiming for the max amount of equipment. So again, the Chuck DeWall's Drying Academy has an app. They can give you those calculations, or you've got the advanced calculations, but your technicians going out there, typically that we know the technicians, they don't want to carry too many air movers. You don't want to carry too many dehumidifiers. It's tiring, it's exhausting, it's heavy, it's a lot of work, all right? So your managers got to be trained. They've got to get the max equipment. They got to get all this equipment out of there and line them. Now, we all know when the source comes and the water goes out from the source, it's less wet further from the source typically. So your customer, the hospitals, they're going to have every morning, they're going to have a meeting and want you to explain what is dry, what is wet. So you've got to have, we basically had a full-time couple of guys. They were just taking readings, kind of around the clock and having the report ready so that whenever anybody asks what's going on, what's dry, what's wet, here's the readings, we're showing progress, okay? And then we'd have to teach them. Most restoration companies are not professionals at drying. They oftentimes come from the construction industry and they like to do reconstruction, okay? Or they like to do demolition and make more money. And so your property managers, your engineers, they're not used to actual professionals of drying. So we did some reconstruction, but we did not focus on reconstruction. We wanted to be the best at drying, right? And so that's what we specialized in, our niche. We want to be the best. So with that, we had to produce the value to our customer because they weren't used to that. We said, hey, it's cheaper to dry, even if there's a bit more equipment than what you're used to. There's a reason for that, mathematical calculations to max dry as fast as possible. But this saves you cost of abatement, demolition, reconstruction, painting, losing, downtime on those places, less disruption. So even though our bill is more, you are net saving costs. So we would have to repeat this over and over to the white shirts, to the managers, and train them on this. And I will tell you that these people that run these large buildings, they may be old school and have seen an old way of doing things, right, for so many years, but they are smart and they will get if somebody else is smart, and they will get if somebody else is the best at their industry, and they will get if you are delivering, and they will trust you, and they will then refer you to all their other hospital locations and partners, and they will leave their own, job, and they'll go get a new job at a new hospital, and they will take you there with them. So if you can deliver and be the best, your reputation will precede you. And so when we met, my wife and I, we started a restoration company, we met with 3 different largest players in restoration, and they all told us, do not lose your reputation, because once you lose it, there's 5 other restoration companies at their heels wanting to work with those customers, and and they're very, very hard to get back once you lose them. So do not lose your reputation. Build up a team that you can deliver with and consistently deliver for these people. And you over time, and sometimes that means not super fast growth, but really fun compounding growth of your company through delivering, and your company will scale and large and be the best, and you'll have a great reputation. So again, this is how that we dried large hospitals, and we never contaminated anybody. We would dry 90%, 90 to 95, typically 95% of all materials. We would continue to move our equipment where it's dry and focus it on to where it's having a harder time to dry. And sometimes they would see so much great progress. We'd be like, hey, I believe we can get these extra couple areas dry if you would just give us one extra day. But they'll be like, we saw you dry 80% of the structures, we will give you an extra 10%. Or, hey, you got one extra day. If it's not dry, we'll demo it. They'll demo the last few spots. We'll save them a ton of money. They loved us. We became friends with them. We became known for being the best at drying and drying hospitals in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I hope this video is helpful for you. So coming up this summer, we're aiming for August. We are going to have a restoration, fast growth to scaling to sell event coming in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you want to stay tuned when we announce the official dates, you want to come to that, you want to give all of the knowledge that we have from working with private equity, from scaling in a large metropolitan area into selling and all the complexities, how to scale, grow your company really fast, obtain financial freedom, buy real estate, and doing that, and how to maximize your company and its growth, and to replicate what we've done. We are one of the few consultants that we know who grew and sold a company and are giving back our knowledge. So we love you guys. We want to pour into you all the knowledge that we've learned and grown, and skills and experience. And so if you're wanting to come to that event, you'll see a link below, either in the comments or in the information section. So click on the link, fill out your information. You'll be the first to find out when this event is popping off. And so again, for a limited time, we will be giving our knowledge to you all and let you guys repeat what we've done. So I love you guys. I hope you have a killer year, that you guys are rocking it and keep trying, become the best at what you do. And I'll see you in the next one.